Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking something massive, globalization. It might sound like a dense, intimidating textbook term, but honestly, it's the invisible machinery shaping literally everything around you. From the coffee you drank this morning to the career you're building right now, it's an absolutely fascinating subject, and by the end of our time together, I promise you're going to see the world economy in a completely different light.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover defining the global marketplace, the 5 phases of globalization, the core drivers and dimensions, what we call the double-edged sword, and finally, future trends in globalization. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Defining the global marketplace. To really get this, we need to bring this macro theory down to the micro level. Actually, just think about the smartphone you're probably holding right now. If it's a phone sold in Malaysia, for example, it was likely designed in the US, built with parts sourced from China, and assembled in Vietnam before it ever reached your hands. That right there, that is a single global value chain in action.
So, by definition, globalization is this increasing interconnectedness and interdependence of countries, businesses, and people. It happens through trade, investment, technology, and movement. The big takeaway here is that companies no longer just look at their own backyard. They view the entire world as one giant marketplace. This opens up totally new demographics and much cheaper resources, which for us as consumers usually means way more variety and lower prices. This brings us to a concept I absolutely love. The death of distance. Back in the 1500s, distance was the ultimate barrier, right? Moving goods meant months, maybe even years, on horseback or sailing ships. Fast forward to today, airplanes cross continents in a matter of hours, and we make instant video calls across the globe. Those old geographic barriers that used to completely define commerce, they've practically vanished.
Section 2. 5 phases of globalization. Because this highly connected world didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was built over centuries. Let's quickly trace how we got here. Early globalization kicked off around the 1830s with railroads and ocean ships pushing British textiles around the world. Then, moving into the 1900s, things like electricity and steel birthed the first true multinational giants. Post-World War II, treaties like GATT and the Marshall Plan really knocked down trade walls. By the 1980s, the modern era hit with the ICT revolution, turning emerging economies like China into the world's factory floor. And today, we're solidly in the 5th phase, digital globalization, where AI and e-commerce platforms like Netflix move data faster than any ship ever moved cargo.
Moving on to Section 3, drivers and dimensions. So what are the actual engines keeping this incredibly complex global machine running today?
Well, it's really about how several key forces combine. You've got trade and investment barriers coming down, thanks to organizations like the WTO and regional pacts like AFTA. You've got market liberalization, think China's massive 1978 reforms, and rapid industrialization in developing nations like Vietnam. But the real kicker is how this integrates with world financial markets. That means a company in Malaysia can effortlessly raise capital from foreign investors halfway across the planet. It's a total game changer.
And underpinning all of this is the incredible leap in technology and communication. Thanks to digital tech, cloud computing, and high-speed internet, distance really is dead. Managers in Malaysia, Japan, and Germany can just hop on Zoom or Microsoft Teams and sync up their strategies in real time. It's literally real-time global coordination, which allows even small businesses to go global without breaking the bank.
These drivers result in some very practical dimensions. We're seeing national economies deeply integrate into powerful regional trade blocs like ASEAN, the EU, or the USMCA. We're also seeing a massive explosion in foreign direct investment, or FDI. Picture Intel pouring millions to build factories in Malaysia. Plus, there's the globalization of production and services, meaning it's completely routine now to outsource operations like IT or customer service to countries like India. And you see this in your everyday life, right? There's a huge convergence of buyer lifestyles. Because of global media and advertising, people worldwide share incredibly similar preferences from massive brands. We're all drinking Coca-Cola, getting coffee at Starbucks, watching Netflix, wearing Nike, or eating McDonald's. A product might be designed in the US and manufactured in Asia, but it's consumed literally everywhere.
Section 4, the double-edged sword. Now, as amazing as all this sounds, wiring the whole globe together comes with some serious complexities that we need to unpack objectively. It's a very delicate societal balance. On the positive side, globalization drives massive economic growth, creates jobs, raises living standards, and spreads modern technology like wildfire. But there's a flip side. Because our economies are so linked, economic contagion is a real threat, like how the 2008 financial crisis just ripped through the globe. We also have to grapple with the loss of government sovereignty, the painful reality of offshoring and job losses in certain sectors, environmental pollution, and that cultural homogenization we just talked about, where local traditions can get overshadowed by global brands.
And from a purely business perspective, it's the exact same balancing act. Yes, companies get this unprecedented access to global talent and way lower production costs. But at the same time, they're stepping into a ring with intense foreign competition. They have to navigate stark cultural differences, wild exchange rate fluctuations, and some pretty serious political risks.
Which brings us to Section 5, Future Trends in Globalization. Considering all these forces and challenges, where is this deeply integrated network actually heading next?
Well, things are morphing, and they're morphing fast. There are 5 major trends reshaping our world right now. First, digital globalization, where cross-border data flows are actually outpacing physical trade. Then there's green globalization, pushing businesses towards sustainability and circular economies. Add to that major supply chain transformations, the growth of huge regional trade blocs like the RCTP and CPTPP, and some incredibly complex geopolitical and regulatory changes. Think new rules around AI or the EU's carbon taxes. The landscape has never looked more challenging.
One of the most visible shifts we're seeing right now is supply chain transformation. The recent pandemic exposed some pretty massive vulnerabilities in global networks, so companies are reacting. Take Apple, for example, diversifying its production lines into India and Vietnam. We're seeing a massive shift away from relying on a single region, with businesses moving towards strategies like nearshoring or friendshoring to ensure things stay stable when the next disruption hits.
So, I want to leave you with this to chew on. As physical distance continues to die, as the digital economy absolutely booms, and as the push for green sustainability rewrites the rules of trade, how are you and your community preparing to adapt to this next era of the global marketplace? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it gave you a fresh perspective on the incredible machinery running our world.